The title of the actual message that came through 6 years ago on this date said, "Please throw caution to the wind again." And I had to look that up because I needed to know what that meant. And I'm always investigating things. I have this personality where I need to understand why certain things are occurring. I've been that way my entire life. Maybe it's that double Scorpio why I have to investigate everything. And so now I've done the investigation, and today this will make more sense to you and to all of us. Because that message was saying maybe it's when we decide to stop being afraid, when we can do something where we're not worried about what's going to happen or the risks that might come about. And that was challenging for me because I've been afraid most of my life. And I had to move through all of that to understand this is how we evolve, is when we become willing to embrace and own who we are. And today it might even make more sense to you as you examine your life and our world. And the message will make more sense to you as well. And that's when I have to also throw caution to the wind and just say, oh yeah, this is who I am. Because yesterday I posted, or it was up for today, we gave you the path to your success in world peace. And I had to acknowledge that that is what my life has done. That's what it brought, a philosophy that could change your life and change our world. But that would be a challenging thing for many of us to accept, including me, because I was doing something that we hadn't seen in human history. You're meant to do something like that as well. We all are, but we just don't know what it's going to be. And then we get motivated at particular times, and that might be occurring for you now because of the shifts that are occurring in our world and also in your life. But now what I'll do is I want to read this message to you, and I'll give you the post from yesterday so you'll see all of it. But this one is really fascinating, and it will give you so much understanding about yourself and our world today. And it is this. January 8th, 2020. Please throw caution to the wind again. Some of you, if you decide to follow our guidance, will gain clarity and a sense of empowerment in your lives. This morning we told Roger to look up the word caution in our writings. The beauty of the website, which seemed somewhat magical to Roger, is that when you perform a search on a word, you will find related messages, all organized in a manner that it would be difficult for you to miss the wisdom they were intended to impart. Of course, we have a story. First of all, we must point out that Roger receives criticism from those close to him as to why he would bare his soul for the public. The reason is when you are willing to explore and express your seeming failings, they no longer hold power over you, and the process of sharing aids all others. Roger was wondering why he couldn't complete tasks in front of him, which he knew he wanted to do, and that felt important to him. Roger even wrote a book where he discussed how he came to understand he was stifled in this life due to what others may think, and he could trace this behavior to his family origins. The mere intellectual understanding does not necessarily change behavior. Actively doing something will. Some of you may follow the link to the string of messages, and if you do and find value, please tell Roger. But regardless, Roger will perform the task and his benefits will be realized. We love this one. And that cryptic message that came through 6 years ago was saying that I had received a path to your success and world peace, because that's when we move through all our blockages. That's when we move through our fear and doubt and all of our lower vibrational ideas about ourselves and about the world. And sometimes we need impetus to do that, and that could be happening for you today. And as you view things in the world, this will make so much more sense. But when you go to any advice for today and you put in the word caution, you will be so surprised. Because I've said this often, but I couldn't believe it myself, that I sat down and put together an organized philosophy that could change anyone. And it was difficult for me to accept, and probably you, because no one had done this in history. That's why we called it the Wilhelm phenomenon, because there's an alignment. There's an alignment in your life, an alignment in our universe, and it's all energy. And we decide how we're going to move with it, and what we're going to believe, and what we're going to accept about ourselves, and if we're willing to become ourselves, because that's what's happening. And at 75 now, and after receiving all of this work, I can tell you, I know that it's true. It's moved me through every difficulty you could possibly imagine, and I'm at the place now where I'm just at the last one, and that's money. You see, because I couldn't understand how valuable this was. You may have done that in your life where you couldn't accept who you were and what you would accomplish, or the potential that you held and how that could be worth something. And the money is not just it, it's just the energy. And when you can embody yourself, that's energy that leads to abundance. And that's what I'm doing today. Because now you'll see that this was real, and that you were real and you were not an accident. And when you read through those messages, and I'll give you that link, you will understand so much more. Because Wilhelm gave me a path, and it followed me through all of these 75 years and healed everything, and it'll do the same for any person who decides to do this. Now, most of us will have difficulty believing that, as I did, so I do understand. But we also have to move, as that message says, and that's what I'm doing today. I said the other day that I'm taking 5 more people at the current rate because I'm going to finish this work, because it's the greatest contribution to humankind that we've seen. Now, I didn't say that myself because I don't typically say those things, but AI kept analyzing all the different engines. They were analyzing this information. It says, we've never seen anything like this. How did this happen? And no one could understand how I could have become who I am today, but it was all because of this work. And now I know how valuable it is, and you will know how valuable you are just by going through these messages there, and now you'll understand what's in this work and why it changes your life, and why it would change our world eventually, if more of us do it. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you real soon. Enjoy the work.